What is happening, guys? Hope you're all having a great day out there. So, the Miami Dolphins season unfortunately came to a bitter end, losing to the Buffalo Bills week 17 by an incredibly embarrassing margin of 30 points, losing 26 to 56 week 17. Really didn't expect that, but oh well. Despite a great season, we missed out on the playoffs. Despite a successful season in which we saw the team transform into an incredibly competitive and capable 10-win squad that can really beat anyone at any time. It definitely was a disappointing end to a 10-6 year for the Dolphins. But despite all that, the greatest silver lining heading into this offseason is the fact that the Dolphins own the third overall pick in the upcoming draft, which is just incredibly rare to see from a team that is on the brink of contending with the very best teams that the AFC has to offer. There really is no better way to head into this offseason, the 2021 offseason. We've got picks 3 and 18 in the first round. We got 2 second round picks. The Dolphins can just really do whatever they want when it comes to improving the very promising team that we saw out there on the field in 2020. The defense was dominant. The offensive line definitely was improved, but yeah, we can definitely improve on our skill players. We need much better wide receivers for Tua moving forward. So for this video, I'm going to be going over the possible options for the Dolphins with the third overall pick and just how those pieces would fit on the team moving forward. Also, obviously, some possible trade back scenarios that the Dolphins can possibly entertain on draft night. And I'm just going to be going over a couple other scenarios. So to start with the third pick, if we were to stay there at 3, I think the best player available at 3 would have to be Penei Sewell from Oregon. Sewell elected to opt out of the 2020 college offseason, obviously due to COVID-19. But honestly, I don't think that's going to affect his draft stock at all. Sewell is just a true alpha male at left tackle. He's got all the makings of a dominant franchise NFL left tackle. And just, in my opinion, there's no other player that's a non-quarterback that's going to make sense for the Dolphins at 3. Or if we were to pick, 5 or whatever. So if we we're going to pick in the top 5, Sewell, I think, would make the most sense if we weren't going to, go for a quarterback at number 3. A player like Sewell would only elevate the current line that we have in place with Jackson, Hunt, Kinley, and whoever starts at center in 2021, along with potentially Sewell. That line right there just really has the potential to be one of the most dominant and most physical and just most imposing offensive lines in the NFL. And one thing that's common in the league, all the best teams have got dominant offensive lines. The New Orleans Saints, they got a great line. Kansas City Chiefs always do a great job protecting Patrick Mahomes. Yeah, just elevating the talent there would only help the entire team. The Dolphins did invest fairly heavily in the draft last year to fix the offensive line. We took Austin Jackson 18th overall, and then following the Jackson selection, we took Robert Hunt early in the second round, which was surprising for me. And then we traded up for Solomon Kinley in the 4th round. So you'd think the Dolphins have invested more than enough resources into the offensive line. But remember, you should just never let a good player stop you from selecting a great player. And I really think that Penei Sewell has potential to be a much more dominant left tackle than Austin Jackson has the chance to be. That's just my opinion. I could be wrong. Jackson did look pretty good in his rookie season, but I think a blue chip talent like Penei Sewell could just be one of the best left tackles in the league. Now, with Sewell in Miami, what exactly would the starting offensive line look like? You might be asking, and I'm definitely asking myself if we were to take him. Obviously, selecting Sewell at 3 overall, you'd want him to come in right away and just hold down the left tackle spot. And that would leave Austin Jackson to potentially slide over the right tackle while Robert Hunt could potentially go to right guard. Who knows what would happen there. The combinations and depth on the offensive line would just be absolutely outstanding with Penei Sewell on the team. With Sewell, Austin Jackson, Eric Flowers, possibly Creed Humphrey or Ted Karras in the middle at center, Solomon Kinley, Robert Hunt, Jesse Davis, Michael Dieter in the offensive line room. We really wouldn't need to stress it at all if any of those guys went down during the season or playoffs. Just having that kind of real quality depth, real talented players that can just, play on the O-line at a high level would just be amazing for this team for many years to come. And a blue chip cornerstone piece like Penei Sewell would only elevate the play of the offense in 2021 and ultimately just help to keep Tua upright in the pocket because we needed an absolute pillar of granite around Tua. And I think, in if we were to take a player like Sewell, that would definitely help Tua to take that next step. Another obvious prospect that the Dolphins could be picking with pick 3 is Devonta Smith out of Alabama. How could you not include him in this conversation, this top 5 conversation, this possible top pick the Dolphins could be using on him? He's just been absolutely dominant this season, and especially in the playoffs and during the national championship game. I mean, he had 12 receptions for over 200 yards and what was it, like a half or 3/4 of play, and just, man, he's just been absolutely amazing. Just seeing, what he can do out there on the football field. And the best thing about this pick would be Devonta has, God, was it 2 or 3 years of, playing time with Tua, so they have got absolutely tremendous chemistry out there on the football field. You could see that, especially watching Tua's film last year. Those guys, just know how to get it done on all levels of the football field. And yeah, just with that chemistry, Devonta Smith would be able to come in right away and just get on the same page with Tua and just take this offense to the next level. Now, it is a little bit concerning that he is 6'1", 175 pounds. That kind of a slight frame does worry you, especially at the NFL level. Those guys are just bigger, stronger, faster, and just going to hit him with the kind of physicality that he might not have felt before. But, his other skills and talents kind of do outweigh, his physical stature. He does a great job getting open. Just his speed and quickness and agility out there in the field is just amazing to watch. He really looks like he's gliding. I saw a couple guys on Twitter talking about this, that just when you're watching out there on the field, it doesn't look like he's running, he's sprinting, he's jogging. It looks like he's gliding out there on the field. So that just tells you right there, he's an elite athlete that can, outrun a lot of defenders out there on the football field. And he's got tremendous hands as well. He's got it all. He's got tremendous speed, route running, great hands. He's definitely going to be going in the top 10 of this draft, top 15. And if we were looking at Devonta Smith with pick 3, it would be, a fairly solid pick. But, there's other guys in the second round that we could, possibly target that have a similar skill set to Devonta Smith. Amon-Ra St. Brown from USC, he's a great talent as well. Chris Olavi, I think it is, from Ohio State, similar player. Great job getting open, tremendous route running and great separation talent. But just that built-in chemistry that Devonta has with Tua might be too much for the Dolphins to pass up. And yeah, Devonta is a great talent. I mean, he won the Heisman Trophy. He absolutely dominated this season. And he would just be a perfect weapon for Tua because his greatest asset is his ability to get open in a hurry. And that's obviously what this offense needs, because we saw that last season. Guys just weren't getting open, and that's Devonta's specialty. And just, yeah, I'd love that. I'd love to see that from the Dolphins offense moving forward. Another possible wide receiver that the Dolphins could be looking at pick 3 is Jamarr Chase. He played for LSU last season. Like Penei Sewell, he opted out of the 2020 season. He wanted to focus on the draft. I'm not sure if it was due to COVID or what, or if he just wanted to, prepare for the draft. But Jamarr Chase is just another ultra-talented receiver that would be great for this offense. In 2019, he caught 22 touchdowns, and I think he was, 19 years old. He was a young guy, but he was absolutely dominant. During the previous college football season, just him and Joe Burrow absolutely dominated and just, took that team, obviously, to a national championship win. But, man, he's another awesome talent. He's very dominant catching the football. He knows how to get open. He's got elite athleticism, elite hands, plays with great physicality, and he's much bigger than Devonta Smith. They're both 6'1", but I'm pretty sure Jamarr Chase is 200 plus pounds. I think he's 210 pounds, so a much more solid guy, a much more solid unit, who I think could be, the total package in the NFL. I think it might be a bit of a reach, looking at Jamarr Chase with pick 3, especially, with other wideout options out there. But I think that, Jamarr Chase is a top 10 talent. He's just really got the full package when it comes to a wide receiver in the NFL. At times, I will admit, he can, have a bit of trouble getting open, but he's absolutely dominant when that ball is up in the air. 50-50 balls, he comes down with more times than not. And we saw that, catching 22 touchdowns. He had an amazing season in 2019 for the LSU Tigers. And it could be a possible option for the Dolphins if we were to take a wide receiver in the top 10. He'd be an amazing weapon for Tua. And would obviously elevate this offense and give us a true number one threat that can dominate anywhere on the football field. Jamarr Chase, we'll see, how he progresses during this pre-draft process. He might fall in the draft. He might, come out and be a definitive top 5 pick. But yeah, we'll see how things go with him. But as it stands, Jamarr Chase is an elite blue chip talent at receiver, and I would love him in the Miami Dolphins wide receiver room. The last non-quarterback that the Dolphins could be taking a look at is Micah Parsons, the linebacker from Penn State. Just like Jamarr Chase and Penei Sewell, he opted out of the 2020 college season, but all three of those guys are amazing talents, so they should all probably be going in the top 10 of the draft. Micah Parsons, 6'3", 245 pounds. He's as athletic and as dominant as it gets from a middle linebacker in football. He's a former defensive end, so he really knows how to rush a quarterback, and that's exactly what the Dolphins love from their linebackers. He really just would be a perfect scheme fit, and man, he just has all the makings of a possible elite and dominant Mike linebacker in the NFL. He is pretty new to the position, but you can just tell his instincts and just his play speed and his physicality is just off the charts. And a linebacker like Parsons would be amazing in this defense. Could you imagine him paired with Jerome Baker behind, Zach Sealer, Christian Wilkins, Raekwon Davis, and Emmanuel Ogbah, Shaq Lawson, Andrew Van Ginkel, behind those guys? Just a second level of the defense would be as solid as can be, and Micah Parsons would be able to do anything that's needed from the linebackers in this defense, and God, he'd really have a real possibility to come in and be, one of the best players on this defense. And, we've got to elevate the talent level on that defense. Even though we were the best scoring defense in the entire NFL, Parsons would be an immediate and just great upgrade for that linebacking core. And just seeing his playmaking out on the field would be amazing in a Dolphins uniform. And the main thing here, he's an awesome scheme fit and could do anything that Flores asks of him. At pick 3, that might be a little rich for a linebacker, but, he's an amazing scheme fit. And this kind of athlete in player doesn't come around that often, so yeah, they might have to take a chance on a player like Micah Parsons in the top 5. The last real pick I could see the Dolphins taking here at pick 3 would be Justin Fields, the quarterback out of Ohio State. Obviously, if we were to make this pick, we would be moving on from Tua, and the Dolphins, would be seeing an upgrade in Fields if we were to pull the trigger here at pick 3. Justin Fields, in my opinion, I think he's got the makings of a very solid quarterback in the NFL. I definitely think he could be a franchise quarterback. He's a much bigger player than Tua. He's 6'3". I think he's like 225 pounds, something like that. But, he appears to have maybe a stronger arm. He's a big, strong, fast athlete. He can really just do it all out there on the football field. He's got accuracy to all 3 levels of the football field. He seemed to improve from last year at Ohio State. He transferred to Ohio State last year, and he definitely improved from 2019. So he has showed improvement over his college career. He originally started off at Georgia and transferred to Ohio State, and obviously that was the right decision to make. But if the Dolphins were to go this route, it obviously would be the team, taking a different direction with this rebuild and with this team over the next 10 to 15 years. But Justin Fields, in my opinion, is a talented quarterback. He's a former 5-star athlete coming out of high school, and I really think he could perform pretty well in the NFL. He would need to get past the Jets at number 2. The Jets are obviously going to be taking a look at Fields and deciding, if they want to go forward with Sam Darnold or Fields as their franchise quarterback. But in my opinion, I think Sam Darnold at this point is a much better quarterback, so they should stick with Darnold. I think Darnold has got a very bright future in the NFL, so who knows what's going to happen there. But if he does get past the Jets, the Dolphins would have to make a decision here if they would like to move off Tua and go forward with Fields. But who knows what's going to happen here. Chris Grier did say that they're happy with Tua, they're happy with his development, they're happy with how he looks during the 2020 season, which could be a total front. They could be lying to the media, lying to the fans. Who knows, they could be in love with Justin Fields. We won't know until the draft comes around. Honestly, I'm a fan of Fields, and if the Dolphins and Chris Grier and Brian Flores think that Justin Fields can be a much better quarterback for many years to come, I'm going to agree with them. I'm going to support their decision, and Fields will be our quarterback, and Tua will probably get traded for a second round pick, and the rest will be history. So the last possible scenario that could take place here with the third pick is a trade back here with the team, possibly in the top 10. I could see a team like Detroit, moving up to get a guy like a Justin Fields or Zach Wilson or whoever else. Possibly a Trey Lance. Carolina could move up to pick 3, hoping to get their future franchise quarterback because, Teddy Bridgewater definitely isn't going to take them to a Super Bowl. Who knows? Denver could trade up. They might not be happy with Drew Lock and might want to get, one of those top guys there in the top 5. For me personally, I would love for the Dolphins to do this in the upcoming draft. Just trade back, get an absolute haul for a team that wants to come up and get a, possible franchise quarterback. We could move back to, the 7th, 8th, 9th pick, 10th pick, and just pick up additional, second round picks, first round, third round picks, All those picks would only help us to build an even greater team and would just put us in perfect position to possibly, move up in the draft if we want to replace Tua in the years to come. And, and it just really gives the team, just great flexibility to just do whatever we want for years to come. And, will just put us in the perfect position to be one of the best teams in the AFC and a possible Super Bowl contender, because building through the draft, we all know, is the best way to do it. And, grabbing more top quality players with those players in the first 3 rounds would be absolutely amazing for this team. Alrighty guys, so that's it for this one. Make sure to let me know in the comments section who you want the Dolphins to pick with the 3rd overall pick in the upcoming draft. In my opinion, there's only a couple ways we can go here. We can either move off Tua, we can either trade back, or we can take, one of those top blue chip players. That would be just amazing for this team. And don't forget, we got the 18th overall pick, so it's not a major drama if we don't get it right earlier on the draft. And we got 2 picks in the second round, so we got plenty of draft capital in the upcoming draft. But I'm just excited to see what the team's going to do. I'm really hoping we're going to trade back and just pick up some more picks. That's the optimal scenario, I think, for this team, and will just be the best for the Miami Dolphins moving forward. Alrighty guys, fins up baby. I'll catch you guys in the next one.